Hello and welcome to the 118th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our other host, Jordan.
That's me, baby.
That's him. Jordan, we always do this at the top of the show. What are the platforms you can find this podcast on?
Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS Feed, all linked below. You can also reach out to us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. We also have Instagram and TikTok you can reach us on and see shorts. And the YouTube comment section. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's, things aren't getting better, Jordan. You know?
No, you're deteriorating?
I'm just deteriorating. I did surprisingly well yesterday, I'm going to be honest. There's some days, I feel like I'm starting to get used to the lack of sleep. So that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, probably not. When your body starts to go, well, fuck, this is what we're dealing with now.
I guess this is what we're working with. Just fucking run it, I guess. So I got that going for me. But what's going on with you, Jordan? Before I complain.
So I suppose the biggest thing, and I will try to keep this short because there's not a ton I can talk about, but I guess the biggest thing that's happened in recent history is I took a work trip with the Draft Man. Went to New York City, actually. We traveled all the way out there. First time in New York for me. He goes there all the time, so it was nothing special for him. But for me, it was cool. We were in New York. It's about what I expected. I kept looking at buildings, and this isn't even me lying. Like, I genuinely would look at a building and go, oh, I remember swinging near that in Spider-Man. And I kept saying that to him, and I could tell he was completely disinterested. I just how he just didn't care. He was just like, okay,
man,
it's a city, dude. Like, it's a city. But it was cool to see some of the buildings. I didn't really get close to the Empire State or Rockefeller, but I did see them. Saw the World Trade Center as well. It was cool to see. People there were on a fucking mission. Everyone was on a mission, dude. Like, the traffic phenomena that is that city, it was just like, it was news to me, dude.
Man, thank God. I want more people like that here.
Yeah.
I have said this many times before. I really wish people walked like they had an intended destination.
Yeah.
Because when I'm at the store, people just fucking move like they've never used their legs before.
Yeah.
Like, I got shit to do. I got places to be. I'm not trying to be out all goddamn night. Yeah. Okay? I'm just trying to go to Target, get the two things I need, and get out.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't need to be stuck behind, a group of 15 people, single file next to each other, walking at 0.1 miles per year.
Yeah, dude.
It irritates the shit out of me.
Fucking.
We need traffic lanes in stores.
Yeah. Like a fast lane.
We need like a fast lane. Like if you got shit to do and you get in that fast lane and you have full permission to barrel over anyone who's in your way. Yeah. A child gets in the way, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Stop bringing your children in public.
Honestly, dude.
They just get in the way of everything.
But people there were like on a mission. People crossing the street, people on bikes, people on scooters, other taxis. Like,
because they know they got shit to do.
We were like this in a taxi. Me, the Draft Man, and someone else that was with us were like this in a fucking taxi, dude. And the driver was just like weaving in between cars, and I'm just like, this is a different animal.
Most normal New York driver.
Yeah, pretty much. And the best thing that happened was smooth trip. On the way back, Draft Man and I are in his rental. We're just chilling. We're in traffic. Going, stopping. This lady on a bike just fucking rams into the back of our rental on a bicycle. And we thought there might be like some good damage because the way she hit it, looked down, pedaled up to my window and went, sorry, and then flew down the street. Dude.
She did not have the time.
Giraffe Man goes, oh, there's going to be a lot of damage back there if she took off that quick. Pulls over, gets out. Oh, there's no damage at all. But dude, we just heard dung. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I look in the mirror and this lady's like on the trunk.
The best part is that she just went, sorry,
and kept flying,
and then kept going. Not like, oh my God, all my bones broke.
Dude, so she hit us. I was like, Jesus Christ. But it was a good time. We did some work stuff, obviously. That's what we were there to do. We ended up getting more than we expected done. And then we had some good times. We ended up going out to eat at a couple different places, a couple bars, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
So it was a good time. And then I came back, and my life fucking fell apart. So.
Damn, relatable.
So I had to see Chris again, which was always a fucking disappointment.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't like seeing me either. So
that's why all the mirrors are covered.
Yeah. I've been
Yeah, what about you, Chris?
I've been doing some app development.
I feel like that's been the last 14 episodes.
Yeah, because that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I, for the first time, can see the end.
The light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not just these stage lights, right?
No, I can see the end. The end is it's a far ways off, but I can see it. If I get out the telescope, I can see
fucking
it.
spyglass. It's like,
I can see it, okay? Mm-hmm. And I know I'm headed in the right direction. And in terms of, like, making the thing, I don't want to say very close to done, because it's not true. I'm nearing almost completion.
Yeah.
So
would you say you're past the halfway mark?
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
There's like a couple more features I need to implement, and then I need to just spend a ton of time doing graphic work.
Yeah. Like designing the UI and stuff.
Yeah, because the UI is just I'm trying to get something that works, so it's all just standard Android Studio components. So the layouts look so bad.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of placeholder graphics because I need to make a logo, and I don't have one made, but I need something there. And the only picture I had on my computer, or like the best picture I had on my computer, was a picture of my cat. So he's just in the app in different places. So
that's really funny.
But I have a couple of things working. Last night I just spent a shitload of time working with networking in Java, which is a pain in the fucking ass. What I'm doing at a base level, I don't know if I've ever even explained it. What I'm doing is I want to connect to an OBD2 to Wi-Fi module, like adapter thing. I want to connect to that, and I want to be able to create a report of like diagnostic data, and then parse that in like a readable report. And for a long time, I spent a good amount of time trying to communicate with the reader and get all the information back from the reader, and it just wasn't working out for me. So I moved it over to a Python script, which I got done in like an hour, or I got working in like an hour. And I used a tool called Chakopy to implement Python into my Android app.
Right. I
showed my professor this, and he was like, "The fuck are you doing that for? That's stupid. Don't do that."
He said, "Fucking idiot."
He technically didn't say not to do it. He was like, if you do it, just document it, and I kind of like seeing the weird things that students will do for this project. I was like, that's great, but you're like really shit-talking this right now. And I put a lot of fucking work into this.
Shit-talking you in what way? Like, that's a dumb way to do it, or like, this is the wrong way to do it? Like, totally wrong?
Well, it's not wrong because it worked.
That's what I'm saying. That's why
he was like, this is not how you use Python. This is not how Python works.
So
that's what I said. I said, that's great, but it works. I said, unconventional but working. Does that count against me? He said, no.
Yeah.
But then was like, kind of in a way that was like, yeah, it will count against you.
Yeah. That's some shit right there.
Yeah, so he basically was like, yeah, this thing that you've poured like a lot of fucking time into, and like a lot of different resources into like, you know, figuring this out.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, it's shit. Kill yourself immediately. So he didn't say that. It's a bit of an exaggeration.
A little bit, slightly.
You know how you and me. I'm a bit of an exaggerator. So
can't start with this already, dude.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to do it in Java, and if it doesn't work, I'm just going to do the Python thing.
I'm a bit of a hyperbolizer.
I went into Java. I just, instead of dicking around with Android stuff to work around that, because it's a bit more involved, I just installed like IntelliJ just to do like a console-based Java program to see if I get something. And I had a similar thing to the solution I was already trying, and it wasn't working. So I met with him again. I was like, what am I doing wrong? He's like, I don't fucking know.
He's like, everything.
And I said, what am I doing wrong? What does this Python script do that this Java program does not do? He goes, I don't know. He's every time I ask him a Java question, he's like, I'm not a big Java guy.
Do you have to get it working in Java?
Yes, because that's one of my 2 options for Android development.
Java and what? Not
Java
Python.
or Kotlin.
Kotlin. Yeah, so that's fucking...
And
he
Kotlin,
can't even help you?
Kotlin is basically a Java derivative. Like you can take in Android Studio, there's a tool where you can take your Java class, right-click it, and convert it to Kotlin, and it'll do a 1-to-1 conversion. So it's like they're very, very similar. It's just there's a lot of conventions in Kotlin made for it to be easier. Mm-hmm. But Python has similar things where like you don't have to put delimiters on lines. So like when you write a line, you don't have to put a semicolon, and all your variables are like inferred rather than you having to declare a type.
Yeah.
And then whatever. But those things I've found more often than not are drawbacks.
Right.
Because I've done it the other way so many times.
Right.
That in Kotlin, it doesn't yell at you when you put a semicolon. So I do it anyway because that's how I've always done it. But in Python, it does. It's like, hey, you don't need a semicolon there, you little silly goose. What are you doing? It's like you're trying to program for real. And just the inferred typing with variables fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's such a pain in the ass. So in Kotlin, I have to do because I'm working with it in a different class as well as Kotlin. We're doing Android in that class in Kotlin instead of Java. So I'm like, okay, how do I fucking do this? You have to do your variable. You have to do var variable name equals value. So like var I equals 0, and it will infer an integer variable type. Mm-hmm. If you want to declare the variable, but not assign a value to it just yet, you have to do like var I colon int. That's the end of your line.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can type it from there. But if you're going to make me type it out as an int, why not just make it int I? And you already know what it is, and it's less typing.
Yeah.
So I found that's much more of a pain in the ass than doing it in Java, which is, and I'm not a huge fan of Java either.
Right.
Because Java is so ridiculously verbose with your commands. So everything has like dot modifiers. So you can be like variable or like this dot this dot this dot get this dot this dot this. I have lines that are like, because I'm working with Firebase, which is like Google's real-time database. Mm-hmm. So I have like, because I'm trying to add details about vehicles to this database, and it needs to be attached to a user. So it's like Firebase database dot get instance parentheses, and the path is Firebase users Firebase auth dot get current user dot child parentheses Firebase auth dot get UID.
Jesus.
And then I have to do another child that gets the VIN, because I want to sort it by VIN, and then make another child that has all the details.
Yeah.
So it's like
There's 3 layers
15
to
dots.
It. Jesus.
It's like Firebase this dot this dot this dot this dot this, and it does one thing.
Jesus Christ.
So, which is a fine thing and a bad thing at the same time, because you can do a lot more in one line.
Right.
But also, it just makes your lines fucking stupid looking.
Yeah.
And it I think it's less readability, in my opinion.
No, I could see where it'd be a lot
Obviously, I'm not an expert developer.
Sort of an innovator.
I fucking barely know Java. I've been working at this app for 10 weeks now.
Jesus.
I learned what a constructor was last week.
Yep.
That's like basic Java shit.
Yeah.
I learned, and I still don't really know what it does.
Yeah, you're like I
functionally,
learned it.
I don't know how I would use one. And I have them in my program. I have like 2 or 3 of them. Like, I don't fucking know what it does.
It's just hanging out, dude.
So,
it's a bit of a constructor.
It's kind of a constructor. Because it's like, you have to have your method. Everything's classes and methods. It's not called a function. It's a method. So, you have your method inside of a class, but you also will have a separate method that's a constructor. For what purpose? And I tried to write a constructor for a different method, and it didn't fucking work. So,
made sense.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. You can already see the title of this episode, Chris's Coding Woes.
Yeah, so don't ever major in computer science. Yeah. Don't ever do it. It's boring. I was talking to my boss yesterday. Our boss.
He ain't my boss anymore. Fuck him.
We were... technically he's neither of our boss, so... But whatever. I was talking to him yesterday. And he was asking, like, is this project that you're working on, is this like, awakening something in you, like a fire, like a
passion
for this? And I said, no,
it's depleting the little reserves I had. This is how I know I should have done media. My last editing project that I worked on for probably like 20 fucking hours. I felt like I did no work. I was having a great time throughout. Yeah.
This project, now my professor, when he built it out, was like, this project, you have the whole semester to do this one project. It's probably going to take you about 100 hours, had I to guess. I've probably put more time into it now than that. And every time I work on it, I just have like an existential crisis.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
No, I could see why. They tell you, right, you never work a day in your life if you find a job you love, right?
The biggest thing that's moving me forward, and the thing that's pushing me to work on this, is that the more I work on it, the less I have left.
Yeah.
So
and the less you have left, the sooner it's done, and the sooner it's done, it's done.
The sooner it's done, the sooner I can do documentation. The sooner the documentation's done, the sooner I can turn it in. And the sooner I turn it in, the sooner the semester's over. And when the semester's over and I move on to my next semester, I'm chilling.
Yeah, because it's just the internship, right?
No, that's summer.
The following semester, I got you have one more actual semester of school.
So I have like one computer science class. Oh, no, I have 2. I have 2 computer science classes, but they're not like...
crazy
intensive like major classes, so those are like whatever. And I have I took like I needed a free elective. I'm like, I'm fucking sick and tired of doing free electives. Sick of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select an online only course. And go sort by the lowest course number. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking like intro to psychology or something. All online. So I don't have to show up to do anything for it. It's like, whatever, I'll do that, that's fine. And I have to take like a legal class, which is I think is just a university requirement.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to take this legal class to figure out how to conduct yourself legally in a business environment. Which is okay.
Sure.
But the thing I actually care about that I'm taking next semester is my cinematography lighting class. Or it's a lab, technically. Which is kind of interesting because...
It's actually applicable.
Yeah, well, it's something I want to do. And I recognize that my professor who's teaching the lab class, who's currently teaching my editing class, I guess he kind of noticed, like, hey, this guy's kind of a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he offered me, like, 1 billion fucking overrides because it's a super high-level class that media majors are supposed to take as, like, seniors. And there's, like, 4 prereqs that all have like 4 of their own prereqs. So I had to he had to override like 1 billion classes for me to get it in, and finally I got it. So
That's awesome.
which is cool, because I'm kind of a filmmaker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now here's the real question, Chris. This just popped in my head. We've never even talked about this.
Yeah.
either.
What's up?
So you're going to be graduating in the summer. I believe
Allegedly.
Alex graduates next semester. You just can't. 'Cause
I
you're
can
stupid.
technically walk next semester.
Like you can't get the
end.
paper.
Yeah, I won't get the paper. I can do commencement. I just can't graduate. They're different things.
So here's the question.
So like I can walk the stage, which I really don't fucking care about. I don't want to do it, to be honest. I just want the paper and want to leave.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So here's the thing. What are you, me, and Alex doing to celebrate this graduation? Where are we going? How much are we drinking?
Rough gay sex. I mean, we go. We should go on another
Right.
vacation.
That's what I'm thinking.
We should go to Vegas.
Could be an idea.
Well-
I'm sort of a gambler.
We could. I'm kind of a gambler. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sort of in debt. I got the loan sharks after me. They foreclosed on my home.
They kind of stole my kidney. I think we should go on another trip, but we
I
should
think
do
so.
like something elaborate. I want to go to Yellowstone.
That
I've
could be
heard
cool.
that's really nice. My aunt went to Yellowstone, and she showed me all these pictures of like moose and buffalo and wolves and shit that are just there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want to see at Yellowstone, is a dumb fuck tourist getting too close to a buffalo because, oh, it's a cute little cow guy, and getting gored to death.
That would
Because
make the trip
that
complete.
happens frequently. Like because they're adorable. Bison, they're adorable. But they are 2,000-pound large prey animals
That are
with
pissed.
fucking razor sharp horns on their head.
That are pissed.
And they are fucking pissed. They will headbutt you 16 feet in the air
Yeah.
and then trample you to death. They won't even care.
Yeah.
It's just a Tuesday for them,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I want to see personally. But if I don't see that, I'm fine with that. I
Yeah,
just want
no.
to admire this bison
Yellowstone.
from a distance.
Where the fuck is that? Yellowstone.
It's in like Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay. How far is that?
It's like on the other side of the country. So.
No, I'm thinking like a plane ride.
Oh, plane ride? Probably 6 hours, 7 hours.
Yeah, that could be a cool ass trip.
It's something to think about, because they have like cabins that are like either adjacent or in the park itself, because it covers I think like 3 or 4 different states. So
Now here's what blows for us.
it's like in the middle.
We can't rent cars. We're all too young. So the only thing that blows for us is we're gonna have to find a way to get there. Most likely an Uber.
What if? Well, you can rent a car from certain places.
Can you? Like what?
Yeah, like I forget one of the car rental places, like Enterprise or something. One of those places, because I looked it up one time. They will rent to anyone 18 and over. It's just more expensive.
Yeah.
What I would say, what if we just do a cross country drive?
It's possible. We just have to pick a vehicle.
I'll buy a brand new. I'll buy a brand new Range Rover, and we'll drive across the country in this Range Rover, and we'll go about 20, maybe 30 miles, and it'll break down, and then we'll have to walk back home.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Something like that could be cool. I think we should do some sort of celebration, like graduation special.
I think that
Maybe
would be
in
neat.
place of like a 4th of July special.
I think that'd be kind of neat, because effectively I'm done with class at the end of next semester.
Yeah.
I just have an internship
And
that I
Alex
have
is
to
literally
do.
done.
I just have an internship that I have to do, which is just working full time over the summer, which I was gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
And I just got to get all the paperwork to make it an official internship with my school.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, I'm getting there.
He's a bit of a graduate.
Which is nice. And I'll have a computer science degree.
That you're not going to do anything with.
Yes. Was it a waste of time? Yes. So what's been up with you, Jordan?
So, I'm finally back from that work trip, obviously. And
Holy shit, are you?
Yeah, and I've been doing a little chilling, a little relaxing, as Alex would say.
We do a little relaxing.
So I've been trying to chill. But before I left, my fucking dryer exploded again.
I like the addition of again.
So the first one exploded. It didn't explode. One of the wires burnt. This one, I hit the power button and shut it off so I could plug in the microwave. And then I hit the power button again when I was doing the microwave and it didn't turn on.
Nice.
It's like, okay. It's just weird how it decided not to turn on.
Yeah.
I take it apart a little bit. I look, and there's it's a plastic crimp connector where the wire got so hot it melted the plastic, worked its way out, and then hit the outer drum. And
my god.
And the whole thing's fucking dead. So I'm trying to fight Amazon at the moment to get that fucking thing.
You call up Jeff Amazon.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my money back for it so I can buy another one. So that happened.
Maybe invest in a different one.
No, I know exactly what the cause is.
Two of them in a row now have failed.
No, it's 100% my fault. If I'm totally honest with you.
Is it?
I'm somewhat purposefully buying dryers that are tactically on an undersized breaker. So,
right.
I had realized after the fact with the second one, and I was like, fuck. Because I kind of talked to our boss about it a little bit. We were talking about it. I was like, this might be a problem. So the next one I have to just get a pared down one. But
get a generator.
There you go.
And run it inside your apartment.
There you go.
Just open a window.
No ventilation, no.
No, keep all the windows shut closed.
Yeah.
Seal them up.
Yep.
Tape them closed. And put the generator in the guinea pig's cage.
There you go. There you go. But so that happened. So I'm trying to get that fixed.
That's fun.
Really, I mean, I was playing The Outer Worlds. I ended up buying that for the Steam Deck. I was like, I had this game on Game Pass, and I liked it, but I never beat it. So let me buy it on Steam for the Steam Deck. I ended up buying it.
Yeah.
Game's super fun. You should give it a shot if you like Fallout.
I played part of it. Like I played the first few hours, and I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's very, I don't know. It's very like down to earth. Just like you're just doing stuff.
It's definitely one of the video games ever.
Yeah, like it's got a Ubisoft kind of charm to it, but it's it's made by the people who made New Vegas, so
it was interesting enough. Like I'm not gonna go out of my way to play it, but
yeah, it's definitely interesting enough to keep me into it. I also started the Resident Evil Village DLC that came out. So far so good. I won't get into anything with that, but it's pretty cool. It's over the shoulder, third person, so.
Damn.
And they updated the main game to have that option over the shoulder, third person. So I might replay Village like that. We'll see.
Maybe. I feel like a lot of the scares though
translate
to first person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's something that's supposed to show up behind you and then you can see it before it shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've been playing that, so I've been kind of bouncing around on some games. I haven't played a lot this week because when I went to New York, I brought the Steam Deck, didn't fucking touch it. I was up till midnight every night doing work stuff, so didn't even touch it.
Nice.
So that was cool. But other than that, driving the Yaris. Been driving the Yaris. I brought it here, actually.
He did.
So I did bring it here. I'm finally getting, when I say finally, I've been fine for a while, but I'm pretty good with the car now. Even on hills and stuff, I'm pretty much fine. But yeah, I don't know. I like driving manual. It's got its pros and cons for sure, but I could see myself with a Civic Si.
Could you?
Yeah, I could see it.
I see. What's your biggest con right now?
Of driving stick or the Yaris specifically?
Of driving manual in general.
So for driving manual, my biggest con is probably the most obvious one you could really go for, which is just like traffic, stop and go.
Yeah.
Like, I hit my first stop-and-go traffic near our work the other day, and it was probably the most frustrating thing to just be clutch in first, off the clutch, roll 5 feet, clutch in, neutral, wait, clutch in first, off the clutch, roll 5 feet. Then, after we got down the street a little bit, it started to be an uphill. So it started to be hold the brake, clutch in first, out, let the brake go, hit the gas, go a little bit up the hill,
and stop and go, unless we're, like, really stopped, I'm not putting it in neutral. I'm just
Yeah.
foot on the clutch, leaving it there.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier to just like feather your throttle
And keep going back and forth.
do the little 2-foot dance rather than like
Yeah.
for 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And hills you just get used to, I
Yeah.
think. I've never once used my brake on a hill.
Mm.
I have, and because of this, my
Your
car
parking brake or
has.
your brake? You're saying?
I mean, for starting on a hill, I've not done either.
No.
My car has hill start assist. I've turned it off.
Mm.
And because of this, I've never done the whole handbrake
thing,
trick.
Yeah, I
with
haven't
the
done that
hills
in a while
because I've just never needed to, and now I'm just used to it. So the hill start assist would actually make me shittier at driving because I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't feel when I'm about to engage what's happening.
Right.
So I would just stall it. So it's just I turned it off, and it's so much better with no.
Yeah.
Hill
Yeah,
start
going
control.
on a hill has been fine now for the most part. I mean, all right.
There's some that are like, oh, this is trouble.
Yeah.
There's like a couple near where you live. There's one in particular where you live where it's like a fucking 90-degree angle. That one's rough if you don't hit it right. Mm-hmm. If you hit it right, it's fine. And there was another one near where we work that I had to go on once when I had when I had jury duty. It's a hill near there where I had to. Yeah, it was a rough one. Just like because I wasn't prepared for it. Like if I'm going to your apartment, I'm prepared for that hill.
Yeah.
So I know what to do.
Yeah. Well, that's how I am leaving in the morning now. I'm like, okay, I know my game plan is to get into second before I whip around this turn. Because if I can get into second, I can hit the turn at the right speed and I just go right up the hill.
Yeah.
No fucking problem. My biggest, honestly, help was like, no one had taught me how to properly drive manual. I had the draft man show me how it works, but we never took it on the road to actually drive around his area. We just went up and down his cul-de-sac, practicing start and stop. So like I didn't know the little nuances of it. And the biggest one was I was driving and I'm like, man, I don't get it. I can get going in first, no problem, like a little bit shaky, but getting into second specifically, I'm like, the car's like fucking screaming, dude. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I said this to our boss like 2 days in a row. I said it the first day. He made a suggestion. I said it the second day. And he's like, all right, let me just go with you. Let's see what you're doing. What are you up to? So I start driving, and immediately, like within the first 2 seconds of takeoff, he goes, I know exactly what you're doing wrong. You're going, first or whatever, take off, foot down on the gas. Oh, okay, we're ready for second. Off the gas, clutch in, second, off the clutch. You're not hitting the gas at the same time. And I'm like, no, like, is that really it? So I'm trying to do it, and I'm fucking it up still. And then finally, he shows me.
It's a big thing on 1-2.
Yeah, he shows me, and it was perfect. And now I'm fine.
What I do, maybe not the best way to do it, but whatever. What I do, typically, is I will just let the clutch compensate, so I'll just let it out slower on 1-2. Sometimes, if I want to be a menace, I won't give a fuck. I'll just clutch in first, bang it into first, clutch in second, straight off the clutch, and the car does this, but, and I know the clutch isn't happy about it, but, I'm kind of a driver. I'm trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to have some fun. Relatively, if you think relative, what is a clutch, Couple $100. I got 30,000 miles on my car. I can't imagine I'm going to need one anytime soon. I say this now, like in 2 days, something's going to happen. Some catastrophic failure is going to happen, and my entire transmission is going to fall off my car or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we already know it has jettisoned wheels before, so.
It has happened.
But, he showed me a couple things with going from first to second, as well as downshifting from, like, third to second. And now I'm like, I get it. And I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I enjoy it. It definitely, when I get back in the Cobalt, I mean, it doesn't help that the Cobalt has an exhaust leak. I don't know if I talked about that on the podcast, did I?
No.
So I'll circle back to that. But when I get back in the Cobalt, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going, and then I stop, and I'm like, oh, I'm going again. It's definitely less interesting, to say the least.
Exactly.
Is it like a more comfortable drive? Yeah, probably. But like, I do like the thought I have to put into everything I do, Like I was talking to Draftman, and I was like, I've become I have adapted a new driving style for manual where, like, in the Cobalt, it's like, I'm just going to ease off the brake, roll forward, hit the brake. But now I'm like, I'm waiting for this dude to get 10 feet in front of me. Then I'm going to just, like, slowly let off the clutch and roll.
It makes you better at driving in general because you're paying attention to a lot more.
Yeah.
Not just the interaction of you with the vehicle, but it's a lot of...
What's this other guy doing?
Yeah, a lot of what are other people doing and timing things. Like, if I see out of the corner of my periphery, I can see that light is turning yellow.
Clutching first.
Which means it's about to turn red and mine's about to turn green. So I can just put it in second and just roll through. Mm-hmm. Rather than, okay, let's get prepared to stop. And it's a whole fucking event.
Yeah. Well, it's like on the way here, there was a hill that I wasn't looking forward to trying to do a start-stop on near the ice cream place down there.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking forward to doing that, so I saw in the distance that they had already been going the other way, and I was like, all right, cool. So that means that light can't have much left on it. No one behind me, so I just kept it in third and coasted. By the time I hit the bottom of the hill, light turned green, I just fucking sent it up the hill.
I do that frequently. I try to pay attention to, like, timing things.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes you more aware of what's happening.
Right.
Which I feel like, to that end, because I can see definitely why you wouldn't want to drive stick shift every day. I can definitely see why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
However, I feel like everyone should learn and do it a little bit because you definitely pay attention to far more than you would have if you're not doing it that way.
Right, when the car practically drives for you. That's why I'm not a big fan of, like, this whole lane departure assist and stuff like that. I like it when it beeps at you, like, that's cool, like blind spot detection, or if you're veering. But, like, when you take out the human interaction with the car, this is where you get the schmutz who are fucking, oh, I hit that guy, I thought my car was going to stop itself. What the fuck?
I think it's useful for...
It's fucking stupid. Because
vehicles have, like, fucking... quadrupled in size in the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like, look at a 2011 Silverado, and then look at, like, a 2022 Silverado.
Yeah.
There's significant difference in size and placement of things.
Yeah. Whereas,
like, now the grill is just, like, flat.
Yeah.
And you can't see over it as well, and you're sitting a lot higher.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the 2011 Silverado is big, but it's, like... You know, it's more sloped. You can see better, and it's just easier to maneuver. I think that's important for, like, really fucking big vehicles because they don't just, you know, they just let anyone buy these things.
Yeah.
So when you're driving a large vehicle and you don't have the same, like, hyper awareness of what you're doing at all times, you need shit like that. Especially with all these people who are just, like, out to lunch. They don't fucking know what's going on. They run on pure instinct like an animal.
Yeah.
Like, they just, you know, they're fucking eating 10 cheeseburgers while they're talking on the phone, while at the same time they're, like, they're typing an email while on the phone and eating the cheeseburger while also doing their makeup.
They have a beer with a bendy straw coming out of it. Like,
they have the hat with 2 beers on it. They're drinking that, and then they act surprised when they fucking murder a family of 6.
Yeah.
In their, you know, 8,000 pound fucking Suburban. Like, when I drove my Suburban, that was like, I am aware of where every square inch of this car is. Like, because when I'm backing up, I know I'm 19 feet long. I'm checking my mirrors. I'm checking this one. I'm looking back, opening the window. Getting a view out the side, getting a view out the back.
Runs outside, looks around, goes back in the car.
I fucking put, like, on the fucking beep, 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 beep. It's, you have to be really hyper aware of where you are in those vehicles. And not everyone's like that.
No, most people aren't.
And they sell those to just anybody.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. Like, and your insurance is a lot cheaper if you buy a vehicle with those things. Like, if you have, like, blind spot monitor and you have it as, like, an option, if you buy it without that, your insurance will be like like $50 to $100 more than if you have it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So aside from the Yaris, me and Letzi went up to a big casino in our area. We drove 160 miles, like round trip, pretty much in the Cobalt. It was a pretty good weekend. It was for her birthday. We hung out there, and we drive 160 miles, perfectly fine, no issues, chilling. Next morning, after we get back, I believe we got back on a Monday. I drove the Yaris on Tuesday to work, and then all around, and then Wednesday, for the gym, I asked our boss. I was like, "What are we doing?" He's like, "Leg day." I was like, I haven't driven a stick after leg day yet, so let me just.
That seems like a pretty bad proposition.
Yeah, I was like, let me be cautionary. Let me bring the Cobalt. Start it up, and I didn't notice anything right away. I thought it was maybe a little loud, like maybe just a little bit. Yeah, it's no problem. I start to go down my street and take a turn up that hill that I mentioned earlier about being in second, and I'm giving it gas, and it's going, and I'm like, man. Sounds really fucking loud. Like, is it not downshifting? Like, what's going on? And it just sounded very loud. And then finally, I start to hear this metallic-y sound. And I'm like, okay, I know something's happening. This isn't like we're just at a high rev range. This is like I hear like a very distinct, like, as it's making this noise.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, there's something metallic going on. I get to the top of the hill. There's a stop sign. No one's around. It's fucking 4 a.m. And I'm like, it's idling really loud. I get out, I look underneath, I'm like, okay, I still have my cat, and so no one stole it, but I can hear it now.
Yeah, I feel like you would have noticed if you didn't have your cat.
Yeah, it would have been way louder. And I'm thinking, I forget who proposed this to me, but I thought about it after, where I'm like, okay, could they have maybe stolen the cat, or could they have stolen the wrong thing, thinking it was the cat? Maybe they stole the resonator. I think it was you and Alex who had mentioned that.
Because that shit happens frequently.
Yeah, they steal the wrong thing, and I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. So it's not that loud, so it can't, I don't think it'd be the cat. It's still there, so it's fine. So what the fuck is it? So I'm like, all right, whatever. I drive it for a little bit. It's fine, but it's just really loud. Now it's getting a lot louder, so I finally, on last weekend, I jacked the car up, and I go underneath, and immediately I'm like, oh, I see it. There's where the catalytic converter meets the resonator, there's a gasket, and it's just sitting there rattling in place, and the pipe's separating, and the bolts are completely rotted.
Yeah.
So after today, after we're done with this, I have D&D, and then tomorrow I got to try to cut the fucking bolts off, take down the pipe, put the new gasket, and put it back, and then put it back in place.
That's fun.
And hopefully that fits us. So I'm like, Jesus, man, we just fixed Letzi's car. My car, the Yaris, is just like chilling, doing its thing. And then the Cobalt was finally fixed with some other issues, and now, not even issues, just things I was doing to it, and now it's fucking something else. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, yeah, so it has a really loud exhaust leak. So that sucks.
You know, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so. But it still drives, so it works.
So your dryer exploded, your car exploded. What else is blowing up on you?
Oscar did get shut in the door the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, I came back from New York or whatever, and he was excited, and I specifically went out of my way to, like, first thing, drop my bags and, like, start fucking shaking him around, like, you little shit, how you doing? So he knew I wasn't ignoring him, and he was following me, and he's running around the house after I was done petting him. He's like, just up my ass, just like, where are we going? What are we doing? So I go to the closet, and I open the door, and I, like, hang something up. I turn around and shut the door, and I'm like, oh, it's hitting resistance, and I'm sitting there, I'm trying to close it.
And he's, like, in half.
I'm trying to close it. I'm like, oh, shit. I pull it open, and he comes backing out of it. And he's like shaking his leg or whatever. I'm like, you fucking moron. Like,
fucking stupid idiot.
Fucking dumbass.
Cats are so stupid sometimes. I swear, there's multiple instances where my cat is like, okay, what are we doing here? Oh, you're walking? I think I'm going to position myself directly under your boot.
Yo, get this, though. Oscar's got it all figured out. He's like, okay, I want you to feed me. You're walking in the direction of my food bucket. So instead of letting you get there, I'm going to obstruct your path as many times as I can. So he's like, hey, feed me. Block. Okay, get out of the way, cat.
He was just making sure that you're going to the food bowl, you know.
And if you dare pass it, what's always so sad is if you do pass it, as you get there, he keeps blocking, Then finally he rolls up along the side of the pantry door where the bucket is. And if you just keep walking, he just looks at you. He's
like, what the fuck? Come on.
And then you turn back and he's like, what the fuck, bro?
What the fuck, man?
So,
I was getting on the bib, getting the fork and knife.
Fucking Jesus Christ. But yeah, he got squished in the door the other day. Jerry and fucking Noggin were just doing Jerry and Noggin things. They were hanging out in their little pen.
Doing guinea pig things?
Jerry just he has all this bedding, and he goes, I'm going to dig a hole in it so I can get to the pee-pee pad underneath and just eat that. So he just digs a little hole for himself and starts pulling it up, and he's just sitting there fucking munching on it. I'm like...
Just munching on it.
I'm like, dude...
What a fucking dumbass animal.
I was like, this is why you're no longer in the wild. Like, you're domesticated entirely. You can't find wild guinea pigs.
You things should not exist in the wild.
Like, fucking, so...
It's like,
so dumb.
You know, every small rodent, every small type mammal will manage to die the most gruesome death. It's mostly hamsters.
Yeah.
That are like, I had a hamster and one day he just blew up.
He popped, yeah.
Or it will be like, oh, my hamster saw its own reflection, got scared, and died.
Yeah, had a heart attack.
Which, hamsters, they're not going to go out in a nice way. I've never heard a story about a hamster that's like, oh, and he died peacefully in his sleep.
No, so they fell on a wall.
So it's like, oh yeah, I microwaved mine.
Did I ever tell you about I don't think I've ever told anyone about this, like any of our friend group, about the hamster I had as a kid named Houdini.
Oh, what happened to Houdini?
He's a little brown guy, a little tiny guy, same color as Oscar, and we called him Houdini, or my brother named him Houdini, because he kept escaping. Like, they'd put like books on top of the cage to hold the door shut, and he would slink out. I don't know how.
He was kind of a slinker. He was a little slinky guy.
But he'd wait till everyone was asleep. He would never do it when you're there. He knew. He didn't want to reveal the tricks of the trade, right? So one night, my dad wakes up and he's like, I fucking hear a mouse in the wall. He's like, what the fuck is that?
I hear someone
slinking. He goes, we had down the stairwell, they were putting a new railing in, so there was just a hole. And he goes and he shines a flashlight and he's like, I don't see anything, but he can hear it going like running around in there. So he's like, okay. He goes and gets a BB gun. He's like, I'm putting this thing out.
I'm dealing with this immediately.
At this point, my mom wakes up and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, there's a fucking mouse on the wall. I'm gonna fucking shoot it or whatever. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she goes back to bed and immediately has an epiphany. She's like, wait, what if it's not a mouse? What if it's the hamster? So she goes, wait. She runs over. She finally finds it. And she just sees this little brown hamster running in the wall. As my dad's aimed at it with a pellet gun. Just like, oh, never mind. So we had to get it out of this wall. My dad's like, I'm not blowing that wall apart. If it dies in there, it's staying there. Like, I'm not doing it. So he takes an electrical box, right, where you'd install an outlet.
Yeah.
He ties fishing line around it and lowers it like a little elevator.
Oh, so the fucking thing will walk in there and he can pull it back out of the wall.
He walks in there, he pulls it up. This thing goes, oh no, and jumps out and fucking eats shit from like 6 feet in the air. He's already like halfway up the wall and it just flies out. And my dad's like, I fucking hate this thing. Lowers it again.
Stupid fucking animal.
It goes back on. He lifts it up and he finally gets it out of the fucking wall. Fucking stupid ass guinea pig.
And you do all that, especially with hamsters. You do all that work to like save them and make sure they don't kill themselves, just for them to die after like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oscar, when he was a kitten, he wasn't too smart. I pissed him off one night. Mm-hmm. So when he was really young, like probably less than 1, honestly, he had figured out, like, I would always grab him when I was a dumb kid. I would grab him by the back of his head like a mom and bring him to bed. We'd go to sleep.
Right.
So he got in that routine. That's why he always sleeps with me now. And he's like up my ass the whole time, dude. And I got him in that routine. And as a kid, I was like, dude, this is fascinating. Like, he follows me wherever I go. So I pissed him off by sprinting up and down the stairs one night when it was time for bed. And he kept chasing me. And then finally he stopped chasing me. And I'm like, he's acting weird. He doesn't want to chase me anymore. He was pissed that I was teasing him. I went to bed that night. He climbs on the bed and he just sat there looking at me. Just looking. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then he attacked me. He just lunged at me and started biting my neck and shit. I was like, what the fuck? So I whipped him off. I got super scared of him. I hated him for like a week. I was like, I fucking hate this guy. And then finally, once we made up, I was like, all right, fine, I like this guy. He's all right. I did the same thing, but on accident. I just ran down the stairs and he chased me and he was so excited. He tried to cut me off. So coming down the stairs, imagine a sloped staircase. And the fridge is up against the wall there. And there's no railing. So he would walk out on the fridge a lot of times and just hanging up there, like laying on the bread and shit. So I run down the stairs, and he goes, I'm going to cut him off. And he cuts across the fridge, and he tries to stop on a metallic fridge and slides. And he jets off the fridge head first into a counter.
Oh.
Right into like a sharp ass counter. He hits the counter, bounces off, hits the floor. For like 6 months, if you tried to pick him up and you put like pressure on his ribs, he would go as you pick him up. I was like, what the fuck?
He fucking broke his ribs,
dude,
bro.
And then he finally was just fine one day.
Nice.
And he had like a little cut in his nose. It was so sad, dude. He went right over the fridge and just into the countertop. Oh, it was so bad. I was like, how did he survive past year 1?
What a fucking stupid animal.
Now he's just some fat little dumb guy. He
Yeah.
walks around. Now he's way calmer, dude. He used to be a fucking ridiculous kitten.
Yeah, I had to go to Jordan's apartment to work on some editing stuff for the Halloween thing we just released.
Which you better fucking watch right now.
And I was there, and we were both sitting in front of Jordan's computer, and Oscar was just like sitting in front of me, just like this.
Looking up at you, just
looking at me. I go, what? What do you want? I'm in the middle of something.
yeah. And then he kept rubbing up against you, doing like laps around your legs, dude. Just fucking figure eights the whole time.
Yeah, like that's great. Go do something else.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh man. Actually, so another funny fucking thing that happened with him this week was when I got back from New York. I patted him, and then I went to the guinea pig cage, and
fuck those guys.
And I went to like pet him. And dude, he walked up and he just fucking smacked Jerry. He's like, "Fuck that guy, pet me,
Fuck
bitch."
him, bro.
I was like, "Shit, dude. All right, damn."
What a fucking baller.
Dude, he's a needy bitch.
He's oh man, he's such like an only child.
He really is. He, more than any cat I've ever seen, exhibits fucking Sigma only child energy.
Yeah, he's like, fuck everyone else.
Yeah, dude.
Pay attention to me.
Yeah, he really does, dude. He really does, and he doesn't take hints. Like, you try to push him off at night when he's like trying to climb you, and he's like, "Oh, he wants me to come back. Hang on." Comes back.
It's because he wants me here.
Yeah, he's playing hard to get. He's kind of a hard to get, you know.
You know, man.
Cats are something, dude.
Cats. Toyota Yaris. Android development.
Fucking living the dream out here.
Oh,
dude.
we have great lives. We have great lives. I recently was assigned my final editing project, and it's your choice project. So I'm a bit of an announcer. So when I talk about it, it's more than likely, or almost certain, that I'm going to be making something to release publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few ideas that I'm throwing around. So I just want to make that announcement. I don't know when it will be available, but it will exist at some point in a public fashion.
Yeah.
And I have to just do like, it's basically just do anything in any style. And I was told production is not recommended because it's time consuming. And I went, yeah, I don't know about that. I think I'm going to make it anyway. I'm going to make the whole thing.
Yeah.
Instead of just editing things together. So I want to mess with a bunch of different techniques and things. And what I want on that film is I want opinions. When I release it, I want to know what everyone liked in terms of the editing. Because I want to mess with a bunch of new techniques, and it's stuff I want to carry over to stuff we make here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be interesting. It's probably be like 3.5-4 minutes long.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing for right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working on my app. This is kind of how I've been pacing out my weeks lately. So I work on my app during the weekend, and I work on my editing during the week. And I squeeze in things throughout. So
yeah, that's always good. I forgot what the fuck Lex and I were talking about the other day. Talking about Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally I wanted to buy like a TV for Black Friday.
Black Friday, I feel like it's knowing the way the seasons have been this year and like how early Christmas shit came out, Black Friday's gonna be like next week at this point.
Best Buy has Black Friday sales right now. But I forget what the fuck I said I wanted to buy. I don't know what I wanted to buy now. Now I'm tripping.
I want to see if there's some good deals on like maybe some nice cameras.
True.
Or maybe like a new mixer.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if the gun store will have any Black Friday sales.
Maybe.
Shit.
Who knows?
But yeah, I need a new TV. I'm so heated right now. I talked about this months ago on the podcast where we went to IKEA, bought new stuff, like new drawers and shit, and made the apartment not made of Walmart plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Instead
it's made of IKEA plastic.
No, it's IKEA particle board.
Yeah.
But we have this nice dresser that's like it's a really really nice dresser for like whatever it was, like $160 or like $220. Nice dresser. But our TV is such a fat fuck on there. It's a fat fucking flat screen. They call it a flat screen because it was probably one of the first ones that were made, so it's this fucking thick, dude. Mm-hmm. It's so fucking garbage that it's actually bowing in the top of the fucking dresser.
What a high-quality product.
And it's making me so mad because, this TV genuinely weighs like 75 pounds.
That's crazy.
I carried that shit up the stairs, dude.
This one is pretty cheap. It's dead thin.
Yeah. This is an old-ass TV we got from Letsy's mom that is literally like 70 pounds or so. And it's bowing in this thing, and I'm so mad because I just bought this thing like a year ago.
And it's light enough to be moved around with one hand.
Yeah.
It's just a bit awkward because I think it's like 42 inches or something. So.
Yeah. But I'm so fucking... I'm like, you son of a bitch to this TV, dude.
It's fucking TV. I'm sick and tired of it.
So I might end up buying a new TV, just something that's comparable, which is like, I think that TV's 40 or 50 inches.
Get like a 95-inch OLED curved TVs that's like a millimeter thick.
Yeah.
So it's like $28,000. And it doesn't solve your problem of weighing too much at all.
Yeah.
But it'll look cool.
Yeah.
It'll probably put you in immeasurable debt.
Immeasurable debt. No, it'll be very measurable, but.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, I'm thinking about that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm doing a bit of a think, and if we want to do something for...
I'm kind of a thinker.
If we want to do something production-wise for, like, your graduation and Alex's graduation, good news is this year I don't really have anything to buy. I have everything I need, so, like, I'm probably just going to be rolling in my tax return money. Hoping I can maybe use it for that, because if we are going to go somewhere far, it's going to be a lot more expensive than Monterey, and that was already expensive, so...
Yeah, I want to do something pretty big.
Yeah, because that was like $1,200, I think, if not more.
Especially with all the stuff that I've learned about like making things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get real creative.
A little creating.
Yeah, what kind of filmmakers? What kind of
That's a bold title for us.
What kind of creators?
Creators have released like 4 of the videos we worked on.
Well,
because all the other ones sucked.
Is what it is, buddy. You should see some of the things that I've made lately. They're pretty good. All right. The one that I just made is something I also wanted to release publicly, but I definitely don't have permission.
Oh, the one you just made for that project. Yeah, to put all the random stuff.
Yeah, because the way the footage, the way it was, is I have footage from a place, and I have permission to use it for this project, but I don't necessarily have permission to publish it. So I would have to reach out to the place I got the footage and get permission, and I really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Right. But you know what we need to do?
What's that?
I saw this. There was a podcast that was on TikTok or whatever this morning when I was looking at stuff. And I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I haven't. But they just posted stuff that was unrelated to their podcast. Like, the guy was like, the lady was like, fuck was she doing? She was like decorating something. And there was a podcast account, and she was literally just like, yeah, I'm doing this today. And I'm like, man, I should do something like that. Like, I should make a clip of the Yaris or something and just post it.
Yeah, see, We could do that, but neither of us have interesting lives. It's always like, today I'm gonna do the same thing I do every single day.
Yeah. True that.
So.
But nah, like you see a goose, just make a clip with a goose. Go find a goose somewhere and just
find a goose.
Near our work, dude, there's a giant goose.
There's a fuckload of geese, and they're bold as shit too. They just walk out into the road. They don't care. They know no one's gonna hit them. So I was stopped.
Let's change that.
I was stopped in traffic, not in traffic per se, but like I was stopped in the road because there was an entire flock of geese in the road. And what I do with animals is, because usually this scares them off, is I honk at them, honk my horn, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They do not care at all. But with I'll do that with deer. I just saw a deer jump out in the middle of the road one time, and I blew my horn at it, and it fucked off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is gonna kill somebody.
Yeah. Those geese, they're assholes. That specific family, dude. I'm telling you, one of these days, someone's just gonna commit and hit one, and they're gonna be like, "Oh fuck!
Oh shit!" I think we've pressed our luck a little too much.
But that's all I got, Chris. That's all she wrote.
Who is she, and what is she writing?
I don't know.
But that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
All right. What are the platforms again?
Find us on
forgot.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed linked below. You can also reach out to us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Instagram and TikTok, we have shorts, and you can reach us there. And we also have the YouTube comments section. Just send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats, and we'll answer them on the show. Yeah. Or read them on the show if it's just a death threat.
That's what we do. That's our podcast.
Podcast.
Goodbye.